background check for nursing school. So in this video we're going to go over some of the options you have at the state level for nursing school background checks. And so I'm using the resources available on sheriffsdepartment.net. You can come down here and follow along. And for this example, I'm going to use the state of Maryland. Most states will have a very similar process on how to get this done. So let's look at Maryland. And so what we have available here for you are essential things when it comes to background checks. These are court records, these are recorder's office, these are criminal records, which is probably the most sought after record type when it comes to background checks, driving records, business lookup, prison records, sexual offender registry. And so there's also, most populous counties also have their own resources which you're able to look at. A lot of times these can be researched for free, but we're going to look at the more essential ones here, which would be criminal records and court records. And when it comes to background checks, each state will typically give you a statewide, official statewide search. Sometimes they'll require fingerprints. Sometimes you can do a name, just a name check. Sometimes they'll give you an option to do an FBI check on top of the state check, which is like a more nationalized criminal records database. And there are instructions on here, so you can come down and take a look. Each state is slightly different. The fees are slightly different. You also have court records. Sometimes a state will have a centralized database that you're able to search, and at least the dockets can be searched for free, so you could actually take a look at civil records and criminal records and traffic records in the case of Maryland here pretty much instantly. So that's another database that will show up depending on how deep somebody wants to dig. Another thing to consider is a license lookup, if there already is a license. And people do move around, people do travel. Well, I guess they move around from state to state, so it might be a good idea to figure out whether somebody lived in another state and maybe check a database there. So again, it just depends how deep somebody wants to go. So that can be found just by Googling nursing license lookup and then the state. And then typically the official government resources, the domain name is going to end with like a .gov. Not always, but they tend to. If you do see a .gov, that's going to be a government official page. So that's one thing to remember. And then there are also specific pages that you can find specific to nursing, and what they will give you are instructions. So I just typed in your state, so Maryland in this situation, Maryland nursing background check, and there are instructions on how to go about it and how to complete the background check using state-specific instructions here. So what I'll do is I'll drop a link in the description for sheriffsdepartment.net. You can also type in sheriffsdepartment.net in your browser and get started that way. We have options for state official sources at the state and county level for background checks, criminal records, court records, inmate information, vital records, warrant searches. So all sorts of official databases can be found here. We did the research for you, so come check it out and see if we can help.